Jon Jones needs to be stripped now. Over 150,000 people have signed a petition for Jon Jones to be stripped as the heavyweight champion. Does that alone not show you that this needs to end? Jones himself in the last few days has made jokes about Tom saying thank you for all the free promo for his show out in Thailand, and hopefully we can get the petition up to 200,000 signatures. This is not a good look on the UFC. It's embarrassing, and Dana White and the UFC need to stop this. When this amount of people sign a petition and you have YouTubers coming out like MMA Guru, Ariel, Wade, when you have a community this strong coming out against one guy, you need to listen. Because if you don't, in the long term, this can be detrimental. And yes, the UFC is massive. They ultimately have fans. I'll still be watching the UFC, whether they strip him or not. But over the long periods of time, the more you do this, the more you piss off people who like watching your fights, like watching your events, you'll make them fall out of it. And the way boxing is rising right now is not the time to be testing fans. Jones is right now the longest reigning heavyweight champion in history with only 2 fights in that time, which is absolutely ridiculous. But even right now, if you go on Jon Jones's Instagram, his picture is a duck with the heavyweight belt. Now, to be fair, that is pretty funny. I will give it to him. But that just shows you how serious even Jon Jones is taking this. He's taking this as a laugh. He's taking the UFC for a ride. He's taking the fans for a ride. I feel for Tom because ultimately Tom's got his eyes set on the belt. He's even come out and said he's not fussed about Jones directly. He just wants to be undisputed. And given the fact he's defended the interim belt, Tom Aspinall is the undisputed champ. We all know this. As fans, we all know this. Tom probably even knows this. But until you have that undisputed belt around you and until you hear them say, the undisputed champion of the world, it's technically not official. And Tom is probably even struggling to sleep at night knowing that. And going back to it, the fact he's even defended his interim belt makes no sense. I mean, what interim champ should have to defend their interim belt? The whole point of the interim belt is that when you win that, you are guaranteed to fight the undisputed champion and take that belt from them. The only reason why Jones hasn't been stripped, and the rumor is that they're using this fight as like bargaining power for their new TV right deal, because it's looking like the UFC is moving away from ESPN in America. Now, will they move away from TNT Sports here in the UK? I don't know. But they're removing clips from their YouTube channel with ESPN. So that kind of shows you that they're most likely moving away. And like I said, the rumor is that they might be using this as a bargaining power for their TV deal. But ultimately, if you're looking that far ahead, you're being very narrow-minded and you're really just putting the fans to the side, because as the heavyweight champion, this is the number one division in the game. Heavyweights, they might not be the most technical, but it's always the number one. They are the best fighters on the planet because ultimately they're the biggest, the baddest, and they're the ones you want to watch. You want to watch 2 heavyweights slug it out, hopefully get a finish and watch a brilliant fight. It's always been that way. It always will be that way. But the UFC need to take back the control from Jon and realize they're in the driving seat, not him. Tom has come out on Mighty Mouse's podcast and even mentioned that it's hard to train without a goal, which I really respect. It's nice to hear fighters speak from the heart. It's something that we love about sports when it comes to boxing and it comes to combat sports, because normally they're a bit more honest with their emotions. Now, they will put on this bravado of being bad. Ultimately, when a fighter spills their heart out and it's the heavyweight champ who nobody would want to mess with, Tom. I mean, the fact that he can show his heart, put his emotions out there, it shows that any man can. And the fact that Jon has come out and mocked him for it and told him to shut the fuck up and you'll do what you're told, ultimately, it's not a good look. And ultimately, it just makes you go off Jon even more than I already am. The funny thing is, Jon even tweeted a long time ago when he was the light heavyweight champ that he's going to vacate the belt because he doesn't want to hold up the division and he wants to move up to heavyweight and build into his frame and all this stuff. It just shows you that was utter crap and that he was just probably told at the time, no, you're not holding this up. You're vacating and we're moving. I mean, even recently, Topuria was told, you can't bring the belt up with you. Like, it's just showing you that they're moving away from this double champ thing and you can't move up and you can't hold a division up but Jon's allowed to sit there and just hold a division up. Like, it just makes no sense. Now, I am a Jon fan. Jon deserves to be paid massively. He's earned his stripes. He's the GOAT. He's the best fighter there's ever been in the UFC. But the UFC at this point needs to step up. And I'm not even blaming Jon solely for this. Jon is just a fighter of an organization. And if he's told you're being stripped, he gets stripped. There's nothing he can do. So I'm not even blaming him for this. He's taking the fans for a ride. He's mocking Tom. He's doing all this stuff. Do I agree with it? No. Do I blame him? Yes. But ultimately, it's on the UFC. It's on Dana White, the man that's in control. It's on the organization to strip him. Like I said, he's earned his stripes. He should be offered a massive deal. Whatever he's asking for, they should try and match it or get close. But if they're not, and if Jones is asking for more and more and more, then you need to put your foot down and say, you either accept this or we strip you. And yes, Jon will act like he doesn't care, but like he is on Twitter, the moment you start ignoring him, the moment he starts to tell you how good he is and he starts to realize, oh, wait, I'm actually not as big of a draw as I thought, and you are quite forgetful in this sport. I mean, Jon is amazing, but there's something about him that, yes, he sells, and yes, I watch every fight he's ever been on, but the moment he steps away, you kind of weirdly forget he's there in a weird way. And I know that sounds silly because I just said he's the greatest fighter of all time in the sport, but I don't know if you guys agree. When he's not fighting, you almost forget about him. Like I said, this is not a good look on the UFC. Dana White is getting complacent. Dana used to say, we're not like boxing. The number one contenders fight the number one contenders. But they're no better than boxing right now. And right now, boxing are better than them. Boxing are on the rise and the UFC's plateauing. And there's that famous saying, you either die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I mean, Dana White, you're kind of proving that right now, because everything you used to say and you'd back it up and you had this aura about you. And when you said something, it normally happened. Well, right now, everything you used to say in tweets or on interviews could be held against you right now because you're not backing it up. Now, I know things happen behind the scenes, but for it to get this big and to become such a drama in the way it is, the UFC have to step in. And the annoying thing is that I do want to see this fight, because do I think Tom will win? Yes, but to be the champ, you need to beat the champ. And yes, Jon Jones right now is the champ. And if he steps away or he's stripped, I won't think it, but there will be fans out there, Jon fans, who think, well, you never actually beat the champion to become it. Now, my argument would be the champion never wanted to fight him and he never wanted to step up to let him have that opportunity. But they will have a leg to stand on, because technically he didn't beat the rightful champ at the time to win it. Now, that's a sad thought, because I think there's a strong chance that's going to happen. I do think Jon will probably retire. I mean, there's been a clip out there saying he's done, but we'll see. I mean, we'll just have to see if Jon steps up and he does want to go for one last ride. That's my thoughts on this situation. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.